Watch this video and then we'll talk.
So the Attorney General for Child Support in New Jersey woke up and chose violence the other day. They took all them niggas' money. So they are wiping men's bank accounts clean that has not paid no child support or that's behind in child support in New Jersey. Ain't that about a bitch? I'm talking about they popped the check-ins and the savings. Anything that you had in there, if you owe child support, is gone. They didn't care if you owed a little bit or a lot of bit. They took everything. Whatever it is that they needed or that they were behind on, yeah, they got that. That is fucking crazy. Yeah, they took what they needed. They didn't care if it was a couple of $100 or a couple of $100,000 of dollars. Gone. Like, ugh. And what's crazy is that it's close to the first. I don't know how the fuck some of these men is gonna pay their bills. Like, with no warning. Like, I mean, I guess it was a warning because if you're behind on child support, they telling you, like, hey, you've been behind on child support. But I don't know if they just woke up one morning and said, yeah, we finna go get this money from these niggas. But damn.
So when I first saw that video, I was like, oh, interesting. And I guess that my algorithm saw me have that experience of, oh, interesting. So then what happened immediately after? I started seeing video after video after video of men talking about their experience of having their bank accounts wiped clean, maybe more specific, of deadbeat fathers or fathers who are behind on child support, because it does kind of vary, I guess. But all in all, responsibilities. So, and one of them was actually a mutual of mine, or is a mutual of mine, who was like, yeah, I was like a month and a half behind, and I was like getting ready to like send it over, but then I checked my bank account and whoop, it was empty, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I saw this video.
No, because how you fuck up this bad? My cousin just called me talking about we outside. She saw a random 50,000 deposit and called to verify what the money was for. Apparently her baby daddy's mom passed away and he was the beneficiary on the life insurance. The state took the money for back child support. Look at the screenshots. She has like this in Georgia and you can see he's supposed to be paying $781 a month. Look how much he is behind. $52,000. And she want look at that. A deposit for 50. Man. Now I'm reading through the comments and the men like, yo, I would crash the fuck out. And honestly, I feel like that's justified. But at the same time, for you to be $52,000 behind in child support and your monthly payment is $781, don't worry, I already did the math. That means you hadn't paid child support in almost 6 fucking years. What did you think was going to happen? Fellas, please just take care of your kids, pay the child support, do whatever it is that you got to do so you don't end up in a fucking situation like this. Oh my God.
And I said, we gotta have a conversation. Because while initially, and listen, I've been looking, and there's not a lot of there's conversations happening about it on different online spaces, but I have not seen, I'm still looking for like articles and stuff talking about this experience. And maybe it's because I'm in Thailand and I'm not able to find these kinds of things, but also, who knows? But the thing that I really want to talk about is that we need to see more, not on an individual basis, but on a government basis, this kind of accountability. Why? Because this could be the most effective form of of birth control that we have seen from men in a very long time. Because what do you mean that these are the consequences of my actions? I had the kid 8 years ago. And I've been living consequence free for 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, and now I have to, what do you mean a consequence? This is what I fully believe we need to see so much more of at every level. I do also think that shame is a very valuable tool. And while this is more of a private shaming, well, I mean public to a degree. Like in the second video that we saw how that lady's cousin was able to get so much back child support. And if you happen to know her, then you could put the pieces together of who her deadbeat baby daddy is. But it's still more of a private shaming. I think that when it comes to men specifically that abandon their kids and leave the responsibility of that child to somebody else to live their carefree lives, I think that there needs to be a little bit more of a public shaming aspect. So that way the men that are thinking about behaving in this way, it's a detriment, it's a deterrent for them. They're like, ooh, well, I don't want to be put on blast. I don't want to go viral. I don't want to be canceled. I don't want to be put on a list. I don't want to be on the T app. But we saw what happens when men are held accountable in these kinds of ways. But this is what I'm saying. It's more of a private shaming. The government has to get involved. And I think, and this is just my thoughts, let me know yours in the comments, but I think that this is a measure that is being tested out to see if it would make women more open to potentially having children. Because it's like, okay, we know that when it comes to the parenting load, the invisible labor, and the unpaid labor, a lot of that falls onto the mothers. And then when the dad leaves, it's like, oh my gosh, okay, well, now I lost my biggest child, but I can focus on myself, but I'm never doing this again. And I'm probably not going to be getting any support from him anyway, is what a lot of people go into this assuming once the divorce is filed, once the separation is done, all of that. So there's a lot of women for numerous reasons that are like, you know what, I'm opting out of the child situation, of the having kids situation. So it wouldn't surprise me if there were some conversations within New Jersey anyway, where this is all happening. Also, that's my home state, hey, where it's like, hey, we need to get more women on board. So they need support. We're not going to give them support, but they are owed support, aren't they? Let's clock into those people that owe support, and maybe that would get more women on board with having kids in the future if they would be guaranteed the support that they are owed. What they're not quite thinking, though, is that these men are children. They're not children, they're men. Let us not, I've made videos about this and I need to remind myself to correct that kind of language. These men are men. These men are grown adults, immature, barely functioning. And they did not, while this is helping the mothers and the people who could potentially see themselves as mothers, or single mothers more specifically, this is going to be a huge deterrent to the men. A huge deterrent to the men that are like, oh, I could just have a kid, build my legacy, and then leave indefinitely. No, you can't. Because we will find you. The bill is due. And because nothing travels faster when it comes to man news than men spreading word of mouth the consequences of their own actions and woe is meing, while other things like articles or things that involve any form of reading or they'll bypass that. By and large, they will bypass that. But when it comes to word of mouth of a homeboy that is living the exact same lifestyle to him, getting the consequences of their actions, and then they hear the consequences of their actions shared from the mouth of said homeboy, they will go, I believe this. I believe this is useful information. I will protect myself. Now, with them protecting themselves also has the byproduct of them making sure that they are always using birth control, of them getting there's so many male forms of birth control, not so many, there's a growing number of male birth control, that isn't just condoms. If men are more proactive in using all of those, if men are more open to making sure that you're okay, if men are more intentional about, okay, well, I live in a red state and we are doing things in a red state, and then if she gets pregnant and then has my child, then that means that I'm locked in for, oh my goodness, this is not good. Okay, let me start doing some research. Let me see what I could, because if they knew that the consequences of their actions, that there was a big dog behind it called the government, I think they'd be a little bit more intentional about where they put their wieners. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. Got some thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You think you're subscribed? Please double check. People get snatched out of the community all the time. And for all of the updates and ways to support me, and for things, I don't know what that was, but for all of the ways to support me and for upcoming things that I'm going to be sharing with the community, especially when it comes to getting out of the United States, everything is in the description. So in the meantime, share your thoughts and stay safe out there.